Just felt like this season it was challenging for everyone. But man, I felt like it was time. I felt like it was time. I kind of knew maybe heading into training camp this might, but you don't share that with anyone. You think, well, let's see how the season goes, and we're working hard, and I felt the time was right for me. I felt the time was right, and it's something that I've been thinking about. I think that, look, you have close friends in the industry. I've lost a few close friends in this industry in the last 2 or 3 years. And also, they're forget football. There's other things, spending more time. There's a lot of sacrifices you make. And so not many get to choose their terms. And I looked at it as an opportunity also to see my kids more, to travel some more, to get in better shape. There's an attrition 2 a.m, and I know I hear people say, well, you don't have, yeah, I get it, but I need to. That's the way it works for me. And I think the attention to details are so important that it can be exhausting. And so I felt, as this season was winding down, that it was the right thing. And then the last week and a half, yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
2, 1.
Hi, welcome to the Safety Blitz, starring the two-time Super Bowl champ, Rodney Harrison. So we just heard that sound right there as Sean Payton decides that he is going to step away from football. And you could hear the burnout, if you want to call that, in his voice, those long pauses trying to decide exactly how he wanted to put it. Rodney Harrison, bit surprising with this one. How did you hear the news that Sean Payton's going to be stepping down?
For Sean Payton because it just sounds. I was really excited for Sean Payton. My thing is, it's not working right. I'm sorry, but I was really excited for Sean Payton because it's really sounded like he was a guy that was really tired. He was beat down. Obviously, they're over the cap, $70 million. You think about Drew Brees retiring, them not having a quarterback. It's just a tough situation. I'm happy for him because he mentioned the important things in life. Football is not everything. He talked about his kids getting in better shape. He talked about stress because that job comes with a great deal of stress. But also, when you look at Sean Payton, and I've been to some of his practices when he's performing before a game, and this guy pays attention to detail. He goes over his routine. Same thing with Drew Brees and their quarterback. So for me to sit back and be able to see Sean Payton and see that he wants to do other things, whether it's television, spend time with his family, I think it's a very smart thing for him to do.
You spend around these NFL head coaches, the more you realize the challenge that it is. And then when you have somebody like Drew Brees, who he was so close to, and you get to go through the grind with somebody that you really like and respect, and you have a relationship with that extends beyond football, I think it eases it out. And this is the quarterback league, right? I mean, this is the quarterback FL. And if you don't have one of those top 10 quarterbacks, to try to win games in this league is so close to impossible. And losing in this league will suck the soul out of you. And we've seen that. I mean, look at Urban Meyer this year and what losing did to him. I mean, he just basically crumbled. I mean, his whole thing fell apart on the fly. And so when you're used to winning, and man, how many games has it felt like the Saints have no chance? They have no quarterback. This guy's hurt, that guy's hurt, a million COVID cases, and they go in there and win. And that's coaching. So Sean Payton is one of the, in my opinion, top 5 coaches in the NFL. It's going to be very hard for them to replace that level of coach. But you could just hear in the way he was talking that what he's done in the NFL has sucked so much out of the rest of his life, and he was ready to go find some of that. Now in his, high 50s, he didn't want to let all these years get away from him, and I respect that.
And basically what's going to happen is he's going to take a year off. He's going to do whatever he wants to do, television or whatever he may want to do, and he's going to come back and feel like he's rejuvenated. I mean, it's going to feel like he's got a new leash on life because he's been away from the game for a year. He's going to miss it. Then he's going to get back involved. Sean Payton is a football coach at the end of the day. He's not a TV guy. He's not going to be a guy that just sits at home and just looks at football on Sunday and Thursday and Monday. He's a football guy. He wants to teach men. And I saw him firsthand many times teaching these guys, and he's an excellent football coach. I agree with you. So let's talk about maybe the teams that could potentially be a landing spot for him. I mean, come on now. Remember a couple years ago, it was rumors about the Dallas Cowboys. Don't you think that would be a perfect fit, him and Dak Prescott, to take over this team and this offense?
I would say that's very possible. Maybe take 1 year, maybe 2 years, and then come back and coach Dallas, and who knows what may be available at that point. So let's hear from Coach Payton. Here's what he said about what might be next, and then the speculation can begin. Here's what he said.
Honestly, as I sit here today, and this is okay, I don't know what's next. And look, I read the reports, and I understand. I've not spoken to anyone from a media outlet relative to doing television or radio. Maybe that opportunity arises, but every time I read something that says like he's in line for this job, I'll call my agent Don and I'll say, Don, did you hear something? Because I have not heard anything, and that's okay. I think I'd like to do that. I think I'd be pretty good at it, but so stepping outside, like in the cold weather today, and being a little uncomfortable professionally or from a career standpoint is okay. I don't like the word retirement. Mr. B didn't like it either. He always said, retirement's overrated. We get sold this whole image of retirement by these investment groups on TV and golf courses and retirement. And so, I still have a vision for doing things in football. And I'll be honest with you, that might be coaching again at some point. I don't think it's this year. I think maybe in the future, but that's not where my heart is right now. It's not at all.
It sure sounded like he wanted a job in TV right there, didn't it? I mean, that was shocking.
Oh, he wants to
work in TV. He does.
Dude, he's taking this opportunity with a huge platform. Instead of talking about, he talked about retirement and all that other stuff, but he had to make sure that he plugged himself and said, hey, whether it's TV or radio. So he's basically telling all the network executives, like, I'm free, I'm available, I think I'm going to be really good at it, and I'm here and I'm available if you want me. Basically, that's what he's saying.
And who better would he have to be able to bounce ideas off of what that would be like than Drew Brees? I'm sure they've already said that they had a lengthy conversation where he just informed Drew of what he was thinking about doing, some of those things. So we'll see what the heck ends up happening with Sean Payton. But I just think that grind of the day-to-day, the 6 a.m. waking up, he's ready to take a little break from that, prioritize a little family, but it does sound like the idea of truly retiring sounds miserable to him, doesn't it? It's like the idea of doing nothing sounds more miserable than what he was doing, but he's trying to figure out what that in-between land is that's going to bring him a little bit of joy and a little bit of football in his life, which it sounds like he needs more than air to breathe.
Dude, if we retired, it would be miserable for all of us because, nobody's meant to retire and do nothing. You have to keep your mind stimulated. You have to do something. You have to give back to your society. You just have to, get involved. So I don't worry about Sean Payton. He's a smart dude. He's got a gazillion dollars in the bank. We don't worry about Sean Payton. He's going to do fine on television. His biggest challenge after that 1 year, he's going to have to decide whether he's calling games or whether he's in the studio. Like, do I want to go back on the football field? And I guarantee you, if the right opportunity opens up, he's going to be done with that booth. He's going to be back on the sidelines. But coaches get burnt out, just like players get burnt out. And I'm so happy because over the course of my time with football, I've seen a lot of coaches basically eat their way and really just not take care of themselves right into like cancer, into a whole bunch of other different debilitating diseases and stuff like that. So it's good that he's focused on, his health and his family.
And we've seen so many times you go to the booth for a year or two. Okay, now a job opens up. It's the right job. Now all of a sudden you're back in it. We'll see how it all plays out. But it definitely sounded like TV maybe in the near future for Sean Payton.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.